Hey everybody, welcome back to TAZS's Wig Closet at Wig Studio One, here to inspire and empower your wig journey. Today I want to talk about heat-friendly fibers. It seems like more and more brands are adopting more and more styles in a heat-friendly or heat-resistant type synthetic fiber. Today I want to examine and compare the heat-friendly fibers among different brands, particularly the Raquel Welch and the Belle Tress. Those are two of my favorite brands that offer the heat-friendly fiber. We're going to talk about the longevity of the fiber, the feel of the fiber, the performance, any pros and cons, just kind of taking stock of what's going on with heat-friendly fiber coming up. I'm wearing the Raquel Welch Wavy Day in the color Shaded Cappuccino, which was sent to me by Wig Studio One for a previous review. All other featured wig styles in this video today I purchased with my own funds. You can find them all at Wig Studio One. Drop below the video, expand the description box. I'll attach a link directly to any style I show you today. And that way you can go out to Wig Studio One and check it out. You can look at all the colors, the pricing. If you have any questions for us, please reach out to support@wigstudio1.com. And most of the Raquel Welch styles that are coming out are made from the True to Life fiber by Raquel Welch, which is heat friendly or heat resistant, completely synthetic, but heat resistant synthetic. I don't have any idea why we're seeing such a flood of heat-friendly fibers come on the market. I know that I prefer heat-friendly fiber over a regular synthetic. There's a variety of reasons for that. I really like tweaking my style by using heat. And I don't want to be afraid to take heat to a style to do, get some lift or add some curl, or even straighten a wig or defrizz and detangle a wig. I really like the fact that these fibers are formulated to resist the heat. Now, the biggest and most common complaint of heat-friendly fiber is that it doesn't last as long compared to a regular synthetic. And then the other complaint is that sometimes the heat-friendly fibers tangle more easily, which goes in hand with not lasting as long. So we're going to examine that today. Now, my two favorite brands of all time right now are Belle Tress and Raquel Welch. And both of them heavily feature heat-friendly fiber. In fact, Belle Tress, the entire cafe collection is always heat-friendly fiber. And then Raquel Welch is becoming that way as well. It seems like all the new releases coming from Raquel Welch are heat-friendly as well. So I'm not coming on today to tell you to buy heat-friendly fiber, especially if you're not a fan. But if you are a fan of Raquel Welch and Belle Tress, I want to take a look at some of the subtle differences between the heat-friendly fiber that they use. Now, those two brands I'm most familiar with. You will see a lot of brands coming out with more and more heat-friendly fiber, such as Tress, Renee of Paris, even Ellen Villa coming out with a lot of heat-friendly styles. At least one in each new collection release is a heat-friendly style, and some of those other brands. But like I said, Raquel Welch and Belle Tress are just heavily heat-friendly. And this is another example of how competition will drive the market. A lot of times, if a company has a really popular product and the feedback is good, you'll see that try to be emulated by another brand because, you know, they all want their fair share of the market. So I think that that is a good thing for consumers, absolutely. Now, let's not forget that this entire last 2 years has been hell on wheels for everyone in just about every aspect of your life. Your health, your finances, you know, the job, the employment, your ability to be social. There's just so many reasons why the last 2 years have been topsy-turvy. Well, the wig market wasn't spared from that. There are a lot of supply chain issues. In a lot of countries, even right now, there are countries that make synthetic wigs like this and human hair wigs that are suffering lockdowns, continuous lockdowns, and that does affect the labor. So labor and supply shortages are a big deal. That's exactly why some of the new releases are being delayed. That's exactly why they run out of stock and then it's forever until they can restock. Some companies have had to pivot and change operations to a different country, a different factory, a different plant, and that may affect how the wigs feel and look. Plus price hikes. Every time a new collection comes out, the prices seem to get higher and higher. This makes us want to be a little more discerning in our wig shopping. So hopefully this will help you a little bit today. Let's first of all talk about the Raquel Welch heat-friendly fiber. So I have been wearing Raquel Welch heat-friendly fiber since I started to wear wigs. I can remember buying my first I just love it, and that was Editor's Pick back in, I think that was released in 2016, if I'm not mistaken. But that quickly became my absolute favorite wig. Now, I mean, those things change over time. I still love it. I think it's beautiful. But I can kind of attest to that Raquel Welch heat-friendly fiber. So first of all, I want to talk about the feel. I can tell a heat-friendly fiber as soon as it's out of the box. I don't even have to go out and look to see if it's heat-friendly. You can just tell. It kind of has a waxy finish to it. So with the Raquel Welch, it's more of a velvety feel. Typically, now you can always get one that might be a little coarse and be a one-off, but for the most part, the Raquel Welch heat-friendly fiber is very velvety soft. It does have a little bit of a waxy cuticle feel. You should typically, though, be able to run your comb or brush through it without any problem. Now, each one of the fibers in a Raquel Welch heat-friendly wig seem to be more of a medium denier, a little thicker than the Vibrolite fiber by Raquel Welch, which is not heat-friendly. It's still synthetic, but it's not heat-friendly. Those tend to be more fine and dry and wispy, feathery feeling, okay? So with the Raquel Welch, like I said, they are a little thicker and denier. Now I want to compare that to a Belle Tress heat-friendly fiber. I have the Dalgona 16 hand-tied back here in the color Champagne with Apple Pie. So I want to compare first the feel. All right, so the feel of the Belle Tress heat-friendly fiber is ultra luxurious. I describe it as being buttery. Now that's different from velvety because the velvety tends to have a thicker substance to it, whereas the Belle Tress fiber is very fine. Each fiber is super fine, but the feel of it is just, it's gorgeous. Now, their finer fibers lead to a little bit of a lower density. So I do find that the Belle Tress Cafe collection is typically less dense than the Raquel Welch. Now, Raquel Welch doesn't have super dense styles. I mean, you can get them, but just for the most part, there could be the same amount of fiber on each style, but the Raquel Welch is going to feel a little heavier based on the denier just being a little thick. Now, the finer fiber of the Belle Tress gets flyaways like crazy. Like you can pick up a few fibers and they kind of stay in the air just because they're so light and so fine. So that is the drawback. So the plus side of the Belle Tress fiber in terms of its feel is that it's silky, buttery feeling, and it's finer. Let's discuss the look of the fiber. I love the Belle Tress fibers. The look of them is beautiful. It looks soft and silky. It looks much like healthy human hair. You know what? I can say the same for the Raquel Welch. Neither one of them have any excessive shine. Due to the chemical treatment that the heat-friendly fibers have or get, it really reduces the shine because they have to produce sort of an artificial cuticle on each one of these fibers that the light reflects off of it in a different way. Therefore, most heat-friendly fiber is going to be less shiny. It's going to reflect the light a little bit differently. So in that respect, they're both the same. But I do feel like due to the lower density and the finer fiber on the Belle Tress, it does have a little bit of a swingier, lighter, more feathery movement compared to Raquel Welch's heat-friendly fiber. Also, the Raquel Welch heat-friendly fiber tends to get sticky. However, their finish process is on their heat-friendly fiber, the fibers kind of clump together. I'm not talking clumping due to friction. I'm talking about clumping due to they're magnetized to each other, if you will. This creates a lot of stringiness and stickiness in the Raquel Welch fiber that I've noticed. I have to brush out or shake out a Raquel Welch heat-friendly fiber wig more often than I do a Belle Tress. These Belle Tress fibers seem to stay separated and fluffy with freer movement compared to the Raquel Welch fiber. So let's talk about performance. So one of the main reasons why heat-friendly fiber is developed is so that you can apply heat to style the wig. And so how do these two perform under conditions of heat? Well, I have gotten to know both of these brands really well, and I have decided that on all heat-friendly wigs, I prefer to use a hairdryer to style, to create lift, to create fluffiness and wispiness. A hairdryer is my go-to heat appliance for the heat-friendly. When I try to use steam on a heat-friendly wig, I feel like I have to go through many, many passes. I really think that's because of how the fibers are made. They're meant to resist heat, okay? And when you get that moist steam, heated steam coming out, I just feel like it falls out. The curl or the lift or whatever it is that I'm trying to create with the steam falls out more quickly than it does on a regular synthetic. So on a heat-friendly fiber, I always prefer to use the hairdryer. Well, first of all, let me discuss the heat from my hands. You know me, I'm all about creating a little bit of heat in my hands and using hands to sculpt a style. I feel like the Belle Tress fibers tend to respond more quickly and easily to the heat from my hand compared to the Raquel Welch. And that could be because Raquel Welch's, the denier is a little thicker on each fiber. It just takes a little bit more. The heat in my hands oftentimes just isn't enough. I can experience that with the Belle Tress too, but for the most part, you've seen me work a Belle Tress style with the heat from my hands. It works out very well. Now you can always take a hairdryer, or a curling iron or flat iron or whatever you want to the styles. So in terms of overall performance of the heat-friendly fiber, I do still prefer the Belle Tress. It takes less heat to accomplish my goal on a Belle Tress style compared to the Raquel Welch. I saved the best question for last, and that is, let's compare the longevity. Now, we're not comparing the longevity of a heat-friendly style versus a regular non-heat-friendly synthetic. We're comparing these two brands. So I don't wear the same wig day in and day out, and I rarely wear out a wig. And I know that the heat-friendly fiber, no matter what brand it is, it's gonna take a little more TLC. So after every single wear, I'm removing the wig, I'm inspecting it for tangles, and I'm attacking those immediately, because if you let that go, it's just going to create a snarly mess, especially in areas where it's gathering friction along the collar and things. So the extra TLC is very important. And there's a product out there that I could not live without for my heat-friendly styles, any synthetic style, but this is called Simply Stylin' Light Silk Spray. It's a pure silicone product. It's a light silicone. And I use this to mainly to protect the ends of my heat-friendly wigs. You will notice that right from the factory, a lot of heat-friendly styles appear to be a little greasy, and that's because of the silicone product that they apply right after it's made, and before they box it, they apply the silicone, and that helps protect the fibers. Silicone is still hands down the best product that you can use to protect heat-friendly fiber. And so I would not be without my Simply Stylin'. And after every few wears or so, I spray a little bit in my hands, I rub my hands together, and then I gently scrunch that and pull that through the ends of my heat-friendly style, or wherever they're getting friction. That could be at the front if I'm swiping a lot out of my face. But this will help create a little more longevity in your heat-friendly styles. Heat-friendly styles need some extra TLC to keep them looking their best for the longest. But the fact of the matter is, no matter how well you take care of your heat-friendly style, it's still going to get some wear and tear, and the longevity might not be as long as it is on a regular synthetic. So I ask you guys out there that have a lot of experience, perhaps some of you wearing these wigs every single day, have you noticed a difference in the longevity between these two brands, a Raquel Welch heat friendly versus a Belle Tress heat friendly? I'd love to hear from you on any brand that you're using that has a heat friendly fiber. You know, just how it's holding up for you, and keep in mind your own care habits for those wigs as well. So would just love to hear from you, because like I said, I have very little experience with it. My heat friendly wigs last a very, very long time, but that's because I don't wear them every day. I rotate my wigs, and I store them correctly, so I just don't typically have a problem. Okay, to summarize then, the pros of the Raquel Welch heat-friendly fiber is that it has a beautiful velvety touch and feel to it, especially right out of the box, and there's very little shine on it, and I can take heat to it to, you know, work it and do my styling. Now, the cons of the Raquel Welch heat-friendly fiber that I've noticed is that they seem to be a little thicker, they're a little stickier, they get stringy very quickly, and I have to use quite a bit of silicone to keep the ends looking their best, and I also use that product to detangle. Let's talk about Belle Tress. So the pros of the Belle Tress fiber is that it's a very ultra fine heat-friendly fiber. It's very luxurious. It has a buttery, wispy feel to them, much like healthy human hair would be. It also doesn't have much shine, typically. Some of the cons are that you get lots of flyaways with the Belle Tress Heat Friendly. I know some of you, that drives you crazy. Now, I don't really care because I can easily manage that. If I'm stirring it up, trying to style it and things, and I've got flyaways everywhere, it just takes a couple squirts of water to put it back into place. But that has to be listed as one of the cons here. So I really hope this was helpful for you today, taking a look at two brands in particular, but just having a general discussion about heat-friendly fiber in general. I would love to hear from you about your own experiences with heat-friendly fiber, and if you're a fan, if you're not a fan, everybody has their own opinion, and that is absolutely great. We'll see you soon on TAZSWIG Closet at Wig Studio 1.